When one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go. Make sure that you are slowing down this system.
AOC's
What
office.
an airhead. I completely disagree with AOC on this point. Her supporting and saying these things should be a result of losing her seat in Congress. And go beyond that, she should also be arrested for saying this, being in the political position that she's in. It's ridiculous that she's even pushing this out to illegal immigrants. It's ridiculous.
Advising migrants on how to avoid deportations. That was a live webinar. Trump border czar Tom Homan now issuing a warning to AOC.
I sent an email today to the Deputy Attorney General. At what level is that impediment? Is that impeding our law enforcement efforts? If so,
yes,
what
it
are we
is.
going to do about it? Is she crossing the line? So I'm working with the Department of Justice and finding out where is that line that they cross. So maybe AOC is going to be in trouble now. Sanctuary cities, they want to step aside. Step aside. We're coming. We're going to do it for you. If you don't want to make your community safer, President Trump's going to.
Congressman Carlos Jimenez from House Homeland Security joins me now, and it's great to have you on this topic because you watched that video and think, shouldn't she be watching for the safety of her constituents? She's actually advising people who broke the law to come into this country to now break the law if and when they are approached or apprehended.
Yeah, I saw that, and I found it very, very troubling that a fellow congressperson would say that and then tell people that when there are ICE agents, agents of the law coming in to do their job, that somehow you need to resist and resist and resist. That's not what we do. We're lawmakers. We're not lawbreakers. And so one of the things that I'm looking at now is, look, we also get, security clearances and briefings, et cetera. I think now that we're going to have to take a look at her security level and her security clearance, because could she be using that information also to aid and abet illegal migrants that are trying to evade the law? That's really troubling, and I think she can get herself in hot water with this one.
Absolutely. Then, of course, you've got Sanctuary City, New York City, Mayor Eric Adams announcing today he is going to work with ICE. Let's watch this.
When I sat down with him, I saw the cop in him, and he really does want to do the right thing because he is a cop. He's a lifelong cop, and so he wants to help take public safety threats off the streets in New York, make New York safer. He also wants to help find these missing children.
People want to hijack this narrative and turn it into a political narrative where we're saying we need to have public safety. This has been an issue I was talking about before the election, spring of 2022. You look at these quotes over and over again, we need to go after these dangerous people in our street. And now I have someone that understands that narrative, and we are fighting together to get it done.
This is important, too. California Governor Gavin Newsom is now vowing to veto a bill that would block California corrections from cooperating with ICE and Trump migrant policies. So now you've got 180 for these two on these issues. For me, it feels like Tom Homan and his crew have just been very forceful. He's almost forcing people to work with him because they realize if they don't, he's coming anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, the mayor of a job, and the job of a mayor is to protect his or her citizens, and Mayor Adams needs to cooperate with ICE. They're looking for the most dangerous elements here and trying to take them out. That's just going to help New York City, and so I applaud him for helping Tom, do his job. Every city, every state should be doing the same thing.
I've been looking at AOC's track record, and it's coming from a background of socialism, kind of explains it all. So not only is she a socialist, she helped found the Squad, which is an informal progressive and left-wing coalition in the U.S. House of Representatives. So according to this, she's basically more left than the Democratic Party. So she's considered far left. She's with other members, Ian Omar, Ayanna Pressley. I remember Vivek Ramaswamy speaking about Ayanna Pressley, how she didn't want basically black people that don't support the Democratic Party. They're not considered black, basically.
The greatest racism I have experienced, and I have experienced racism, comes from the modern left at a scale unimaginable, because I think they feel a sense of betrayal, saying that you're not speaking in the tone that you're supposed to. You literally did. So Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, I believe not putting words in anybody else's mouth. I believe taking people at their own terms on their own words. Right, so I don't believe in straw men. Ayanna Pressley, she's in the Congress today. She's a member of the squad. Her words, not mine. We don't want any more black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't want any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. Literally word for word. I'm not putting any words in anybody's mouth.
If you are not prepared to come to that table and to represent that voice, don't come. Because we don't need any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice. And if you're worried about being marginalized and stereotyped, please don't even show up. Because we need you to represent that voice.
Ibram Kendi wrote the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I wrote Woke Inc. It was a pretty successful book. His sold more copies than mine. Here's what it says. Opening lines. The remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination. So the other side will gaslight you when you say this stuff. It's like, oh, you're just making that critical race theory stuff up. No. These aren't my words. These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK.
And these are the type of people that are not going to help benefit what this country stands for. Rashida Tlaib, and then later additions, Greg. Okay, I remember seeing this guy in Congress, and he was spouting and yelling a lot about certain things. I need to look more into him. But back to AOC, she was part of the Justice Democrats Political Action Committee. There's a lot of Democrats in Congress that don't even support her and the squad that they created. It's just basically a miniature party within the party, from what this sounds like. Definitely don't agree with her, but for her to say and promote these things and telling illegal immigrants ways to evade ICE, she is pro eliminating ICE entirely. She wants to get rid of the police force that enforces immigration laws. If we don't have a police force, then there's no point on having immigration laws. That means it doesn't matter who comes into this country. Everybody should be welcomed here, no matter who you are, what background you have. No, people need to be vetted, people need to be screened, and we need to know exactly who wants to come into this country, and you have to earn the right to come into this country if you have a good background. If your intentions are to be contributing to this country, then you should be allowed in with no criminal history. That's my opinion. But for her to push this webinar, I don't know exactly who she was sending it to. Oh, she was campaigning for Bernie Sanders, and that should tell everybody everything you need to know about AOC. If everybody knows about Bernie Sanders, they know basically her stance on a lot of issues when it comes to this country. Let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, guys.